Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell. Daily updates. Really excited for today's beer for a bunch of reasons. Courtesy of Jeremiah / Hop Butcher for the World. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, why am I hyped for it? Jeremiah and I think it was two, maybe three other people have told me that this beer is really good, and it's the first time. It was the third package of beers Jeremiah and Hop Butcher has sent. It's the first time he's made a point to say I really like something about the beer. Everything else is just here you go. Want to see your review. This one he made a point to text me. He's like, I really think the Nelson in this is spot on. So between that and again, at least two or three other people being like, this one is really good, has me excited. It's Kielbasa King, Mosaic and Nelson Savin, I think it's Savin, hopped double IPA, 7.5% ABV. Excuse me. I'm still telling you why I'm hyped about it though. The other reason I'm hyped about it, Kielbasa King. When I saw this beer, I'm like, well, I have to get some kielbasa and make something with it to pair with this beer. So right after this review, I'm going to make a shrimp boil with kielbasa. So really excited for that. And the other last reason is I just saw Joe from Jow's Arcade review a beer that had Nelson, and it was just a reminder of yeah, that hop, right? So yeah, super excited for this. Some tasting notes that they put on. Berry medley, I'm not surprised with the Mosaic. Dank greens, crisp white grapes. When I think that Nelson hop, that's what I'm looking for. I want that white wine thing coming through. So let's get into it. I have it seems to be everyone's favorite beer glass of mine, the Chappelle Y'all Got Any More of Them hops, courtesy of Fueled by Hops. He does not have any more. He was telling me that people keep asking him. And yes, he's all out. All right. Wouldn't be a no hype review if the glassware wasn't at least a little dirty. There we go. Yeah, I mean, definitely it's beyond hazy to that murky level. Burnt orange in the center, almost sunshiny yellow on the outsides. I wouldn't go quite as not yet. Not it's approaching butternut squash soup. Approaching. The head, teeny tiny bubbles, about 2 fingers. Barely off white. Yeah, I can't call it white. It is barely off white. But I mean, it definitely looks like one of those New England hazy kind of a beers. Let's get into the aroma. I'm going to tell you what. I'm really happy because the first thing I get is that white wine I'm looking for. But there is a lot of berry. And I feel like recently there's been a couple beers I've had that had Mosaic where I was getting some berry, but not as much as I typically get. When I think Mosaic, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a bunch of berry. And this one in the aroma, I mean, it is, wow. I mean, yeah, it's blackberries and blueberries. Yesterday I did a sour that had blackberries and cherries in it, and this aroma has way more blackberry, which is so interesting because that beer actually had, pureed blackberries in it, and this one does not have any berries in it. It's all from the hops. So it's kind of cool that the hops are giving it that much more of the character than the actual thing gave the character. I also like how the two things are working back and forth. I get a little bit of lemon zest, which I think is probably the Nelson and that wine thing, because I've gotten that, not that I drink a ton of wine, but I've definitely gotten that in some white wines where there's a nice lemon zest quality. Definitely getting that out of this. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know, besides the white wine, what else Nelson really kicks out. Watching Joe's review, he was talking about some things that I meant to look for, but I forgot what he said. So, good job, No Hype. Yeah, smells good. Maybe some of that lemon is approaching grapefruit, but for me, it's mostly lemon. Smells really good. Let's get to the taste. Cheers. I think we're at the point, right, where I don't have to always say the mouthfeel in these beers is really good. The mouthfeel is insane. totally see what he means. Sorry, what Jeremiah means specifically. For a beer that it has 2 hops in it, it almost drinks like a showcase of Nelson. As much as I got that berry stuff on the nose, it's not that you're drinking white wine, but it's probably 75% of the tasting experience is that Nelson, the white wine, white grape thing you're thinking. The other stuff, I'm getting some of that lemon zest, and I'm glad I said it's approaching grapefruit in the aroma because it's approaching grapefruit in the taste, which is something I really appreciate in my IPAs. I was just talking to my friend Pete about that yesterday. He was drinking, what is that called? From he texted me a picture and was telling me about the beer. It was Brewdog's Elvis is in the name. Smells like Elvis, looks like Elvis, whatever it is. And he was saying it has a nice grapefruit taste. And I'm like, oh man, I love that in an IPA. So I assume that's an IPA. But anyway, that's a different beer that I've not reviewed. So I really like that it has that lemon zest, but like I said, approaching that grapefruit thing, which I love in IPAs. I'm wondering, because that lemon is also making me think of like lemongrass tea, slight herbal note, like, herbaceous. And I'm wondering, and this is actually like, I go back and forth. Do I want to read what their tasting notes are? Or try to go in as blind as possible. And I've kind of enjoyed being aware of them. And then if I don't pick it up, trying to think about what I'm experiencing, how they're describing it, and wondering if it's the same thing. We're just using just different descriptors, or if we're talking about 2 different things. Dank greens. The dank thing, this has been in a bunch of Hot Butcher beers where I'm not like the other guys reviewing them, where to me I say something like, oh, it drinks like an IPA, and then they're talking about, yeah, it has some of that dank resinous stuff, and I think we're describing the same thing differently. I'm wondering if this lemon zest, for me, now approaching lemongrass like tea that I'll make, if that is part of the dank greens thing, like the grapefruit thing I'm mentioning, the dank West Coast thing, I wonder if it's in that nebula. Because obviously grapefruit and dank are not the same thing, but they overlap in plenty of beers. Maybe if it's a Venn diagram, there is overlap. But maybe that little bit of herbaceous lemongrass thing is that note, which I could totally see. But I mean, let me do, what I'm going to do? Because I got so much in the aroma, I'm going to do one more swig, only looking for the berry. Because I did get in the aroma pretty predominantly, not predominantly, but mixed well with the white wine. I'm not getting it as much in the taste. All right. Towards the finish is where I get some of that blueberry. It's specifically blueberry. And for what it's worth, I did this week buy strawberries, blueberries, blackberries as part of grapefruit to make a fruit salad. So I have had these fruits like 4 of the last 5 days. So they are fresh in my mind. So that's why I'm going to explicitly state I'm getting blueberry towards the finish specifically. Because I'm kind of lame, and even though it's a fruit salad, I kind of eat each fruit individually. Yeah, this is really good, and I'm glad that I guess I'm not glad. I agree with him that he said this is showing the Nelson so well. If he had texted me like, oh, this is a Mosaic bomb, I'd be like, what? But I totally agree, and it's interesting. I like to, and this is something I think about, like, what does this beer only with Nelson taste like? Versus what is the Mosaic doing that maybe I'm not picking up on? It just kind of gets into cool, brewing science of it all. But anyway, I think I've rambled enough. Great beer. Thanks again, Jeremiah, Hot Butcher for the World. Really excited to go make my shrimp boil and finish this. Make sure you check me out on Instagram on Taps. No Hype Beer Reviews about those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.